Hi Taurus, and welcome to your January 2020 Avalon Rituals Tarot reading. My name is Julia. Thank you so much for tuning in. This reading is for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising. If you don't resonate with the messages, please check your other signs. And the energies for you at the moment, or in January, are quite nice. So we have the Eight of Earth, and the Eight of Earth is a card of building. You have already worked a lot, and you keep following the step-by-step process to really manifest what it is that you want to create now. You are really focused on building. The earth element is of course the pentacles, which is financial abundance. It's security and stability in the material world, but I do also feel like it's everything that we manifest in the material world. So in general, I would say this is a card for building up your own business now and really being focused on work. And especially with having this in the combination with the Two of Fire, where it is about making a choice and planning for the future. And it seems like you're really getting into not just planning for the future, but already working for the future. And that is these are the main energies for you in January 2020. Also, another card of Earth element is here. It's a Seven of Earth, and the Seven of Earth is also about patience. You can't step over steps. If you if you plant a tree, you can't just pull it out. You can take care of the tree, that the conditions are good for the tree to grow, but it takes as long as it takes. So some things, so this is a reminder that some things you can't just rush. But just keep on nurturing your things that you want to build up, your business or your friendship or your relationship, and just keep on nurturing it and give it the time that it needs to grow. The past position is quite interesting because we have the Fortune's Wheel. So it's Fortune's Wheel. So it seems like in the past you have really turned the wheel and you have made a major change. Like you had a major life lesson and now you closed the one book and it's like, okay, a Fortune's Wheel, new chapter, new book, and that is what you leave behind. So the big turning around, the big turning point was already for you in the past. And it led to you seeing things from a different perspective. Maybe you have changed your mind now. Maybe you have realized, got an insight that you need to do things different. Because in the center of the reading, as I've said, we have the Earth element. We have the Seven of Earth and the Eight of Earth. So it's a lot about building of something. Could also be like building something within yourself. So maybe you have found that you can't do things the way you always did the things, and you need to work on yourself. Like work on your patterns, at your triggers, really start your healing journey and building your stability first within yourself, so it can then also manifest in the outside. But it seems like with the Wheel of Fortune and with the Hanged Man, you have seen things from a different perspective, have gotten there for a new insight, and know that you need to do something different in order to manifest something different in your life. The next card is the King of Air. It's not the Queen, it's the King. I always love the Queen of Air because she's chopping heads, and that is my little kind of like insider with the Queen. Anyway, you probably will hear me quite often about talking about chopping some heads when the Queen comes on. But anyway, we have not the Queen here. We have the King here. So the King of Air is someone who's really clear, a bit unemotional, more intellectual centered. Could be an air sign. So maybe you building something with an air sign, or someone who's really intellectual centered, who's really clear, maybe a little bit emotionless. This person is very clear, can communicate straight, and ooh, here comes the Sun. That's nice. And so maybe you have these qualities that you become the king of air and are now really clear because you just know what you want. You have turned the wheel, you have new insights, you have seen things from a different perspective, and yet now you're like, you know what, I know now what I need to do, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be very clear about this, and I'm not going to let anything come in the way of this. So either this is your energy now, or maybe there's someone coming, like I've said, the king of air, who is supporting you on your journey. Also very interesting, as we have the Ace of Water, which is the Ace of Cups. So this can of course indicate a romance and new feelings bubbling up. That's a very beautiful card. So that actually could indicate that also with the King of Air, there's not just a support coming your way, or a business partner. This could indicate even like there is something going on with an air sign. Doesn't need to be an air sign, but it could be. That it might be the new start of a romance, of a love relationship, or it might be that new feelings are evolving and suddenly you feel all fresh and in love again with someone you are already with. That's the card that is in your position, so this is how you feel, and you feel quite bubbly, like your cup is overflowing, and it's a really beautiful card to have in your position also because the card that is in your position also indicates what you are able to manifest. So if you have a very negative card, it would indicate that you might want to think about changing your mindset because we create what we think about, and sometimes we can create self-fulfilling prophecies. And if you have a very positive card, you are more likely to create the most possible outcome of the situation. If you have a positive card, you have a positive card in your position. The next card is the Environment. That's a Hierophant. So the Hierophant is about trusting the divine, and it feels like everything around you, because again that's the environmental card, is supporting you. Spirit is there supporting you, sending you people in life situations to support you. You have everything to manifest now, and to really, like, as I've said, you are building. We have the Earth here twice, and also the Fire card. So you are building, you're really focused on building your stability, and it seems like you have all the support you need. Okay, the next card is you, Taurus, the Empress. So the Empress is the divine feminine. It's all the queens together in one, and it feels like this is also your energy, that this is something that is now developing in the month of January, where you become the Empress. The Empress is about creativity, creating, manifesting abundance, fertility, and as I've said, with the main energies at the center of the reading, this is a beautiful card to have, to develop into the Empress, to develop into the person who is just playing with life, who is just like, oh, I love to do this, and I get an abundance of love from here, and I get an abundance of finances over here, and I get an abundance of joy over here. So this is really you enjoying life and being very abundant, and with some kind of lightheartedness and with joy. And at the end of the month, or the outcome, I had to check also the bottom of the deck, which is beautiful. Justice, baby. Oh yes, that's right. So Justice. The Justice card feels in this case like you really worked hard in January for the goal you have set for yourself, and that you are getting now out of it what you want, because the energy you give is what you get, and that feels in this case like that's the meaning of the Justice card. Justice can also relate to karma, and what goes around comes around. So you reap what you sow, and make sure that it's good, baby. But with all the cards that are here, I really feel like you are focused on building some kind of stability, and that the work is paying off, and that you're really gonna get out of it what you put into. And we have this combined, because that's the bottom of the deck, with the Lover's card. In this case, it's the Love. So the Love is, of course, a beautiful energy. It's of course the vibration of love, the frequency of love, and it's the feeling of love that is all around us. But it also could indicate that, I mean, it could also always indicate to a romantic relationship. So I mean, we had already the very intellectual King of Air here, so that could mean that this bond is even because we had, as you remember, the Ace of Water here, which is the new bubbling up of emotions, either a new romance or an existing one. And with the Love, it could mean that at the end of the month it has even deepened. If this is not about a love relationship for you, then this could also mean that the love for yourself, it's making a decision for yourself and what's good for yourself, and that you have developed a sense of self-worth and self-love and what is good for you and what not. And also self-love and self-love is not just taking a bath, which for me often it is, but self-love is also doing the steps and creating a life that you want to create and that you like living. At some point you have to take responsibility for your life, and you need to do the work and put the energy in to create the life that you want. And taking those steps to really also work for what it is that you want to experience is a kind of self-love. So I feel like with having those two cards, you have put a lot of energy in, and you get a lot of love and energy back at the end of January for all of the hard work that you did, because you deserve it and you have worked for it. And beautiful reading, Taurus. If you resonated with the video, I hope so, then please leave me a comment or a like or subscribe, and looking forward to do the next reading for you. I hope you have a lovely January, a lovely start in the new year and the new decade. Oh my god, it's 2020. Have a lovely day and see you next time.